あれはまさかこれありがとうございます。
Greetings and salutations, everyone. This is No Code Gaming, and I'd like to welcome you back to another Master Duel video and the first loaner video for the X0 Festival, the Adventurer Summoning Rite of Aramashir. This is the Adventure Token centered deck that was recently released in the Wandering Travelers selection pack. So without further ado, let's get to the cards. So for the monster cards of this archetype, each of them have the shared effect of if the adventurer token is on your side of the field, you can special summon this card from hand. Water Enchantress's special ability allows it to be banished from hand or GY, search out Rite of Aramashir, and its on-field effect allows it to search out one of the field spells of the archetype. Magic Core Warrior of the Relics. Its effect is it cannot attack unless you have an adventurer token on the field, and if a monster with adventurer token in its effect text attacks, you can automatically set a adventurer token trap card from deck onto the field. And the best monster card, Wandering Griffin Rider, is a Omni Negate. This card is also able to be special summoned if you control no monsters on the field. Its secondary effect is you can shuffle it back from field into the deck in order to negate the activation of a card or a card effect. Now on to the spell cards of the archetype. We have Rite of Aramashir. This is your only way of getting a adventurer token on the field. It's able to be searched out by Water Enchantress of the Temple, and it negates any effect of normal summoned monsters the turn it is activated. And you cannot activate it if you already activated a normal summoned monster effect. Additionally, it is able to activate a Fateful Adventurer from the deck. Now on to the equip cards. Each of the equip cards have the shared effect of you can only control one type of this card, and if this card is sent to the GY, you can automatically equip it to a adventurer token. The first equip spell, Duel, the Noble Arms of Light. This card increases the attack of the monster is equipped to by 500 for every monster that mentions adventurer token in its effect text. Starlit Papillon is the same effect, however, it instead decreases your opponent's monster's attack by 500 for every adventurer token mentioned monster. And lastly, Dracoback, the Rideable Dragon. Its effect is as long as it's equipped to a non-effect creature, so in this case your adventurer token, it is able to bounce back a card from your opponent's side of the field back to their hand, and that is a once per turn effect. Now, the field spells work in conjunction with the equip cards. In the case of Zaralam, as long as you have a monster equipped with Duel, your opponent cannot activate effects during the battle phase. Additionally, if a adventurer token destroys an opponent's monster, you can inflict damage equal to your opponent's life points equal to the destroyed monster's attack, and that's a once per turn effect. If you trigger that effect, you can search out the second field spell, Forest of Lost Flowers. This works in conjunction with Starlit Papillon, in that the monsters equipped with Starlit Papillon is unaffected by your opponent's activated effects. And then once per turn, if an adventurer token destroys a monster by battle, you can draw a card. During the main phase of the turn this activates, you can search out the other field spell, Zaralam, the Dark Palace. And the last spell, Fateful Adventurer, is a searcher. It allows you to search out a monster that mentions adventurer token in their card text and add it to your hand, and then discard a card afterwards. Secondly, if a monster is normal or special summoned on either player's turn, you can search out a adventurer token equip card and equip it to an adventurer token or add it to your hand. And the last archetype cards are Thunder Discharge, one of the trap cards. Basically, this card is a field wipe, destroying all monsters on your opponent's side of the field whose attacks are less than your adventurer tokens. This is good in conjunction with the spell cards, and it has the secondary effect of allowing you to equip a equip spell that mentions a adventurer token in its card text. And the last trap card, Breath of Resurrection, allows you to special summon 2 monsters from hand or GY as long as you control an adventurer token. And of course, the added effect of being able to equip a monster with a adventurer token equip spell. That's it for the archetypal cards. Let's now look at the tech options. We have Witch of the Black Forest as a method to search out your Water Enchantress of the Temple, and Planet Pathfinder in order to search out your 2 field spells. For removal, we have Raigeki, Harpy's Feather Duster, Lightning Storm, and Twin Twisters. For negates, we have Called by the Grave, Infinite Impermanence, Wandering Griffin Rider, and of course, Red Reboot. For searchers, we have Fateful Adventurer and Enchantress of the Temple. We also have a Pot of Desires, however, I do not recommend playing it as you only have about 12 monsters and you don't want to risk banishing any of those monsters. And without further ado, let's get on with the replays. And here we are with replay number 1, and we open with a Water Enchantress, so I can go over the combo that most people will see. And that is banish Water Enchantress from hand, get a Rite of Aramashir, activate Rite of Aramashir, do special summon a token, and activate Fateful Adventurer from the deck. When Fateful Adventurer activates, get a Wandering Griffin, discard a card. Wandering Griffin activates to special summon itself, and Fateful Adventurer activates to get a equip spell. I have chosen Starlit Papillon in order to ensure that my opponent can't simply trample over my cards when they attack. Alternatively, you can go with Dracoback if you want a bounce this turn. My opponent simply plays Pot of Duality to try and get a Infinite Imperm. Then Infinite Imperm targeting Wandering Griffin Rider. Decent play as I no longer have a Omni Negate. And Lightning Storm to clear the field. Starlit activates to equip to a Adventure. And we have a Yosenju Kama. And that's why I nerfed my opponent's attack. And turn 3, just flip everything to attack, activate Fateful Adventurer, to get Magicore and activate Magicore's ability, special summon it, Fateful Adventurer triggers, and get a Dunnel. Now have enough for an OTK. And that's the potential of the Adventurer engine if you're able to get your Adventurer token on the field. Second replay. Now what happens if we open without the Enchantress in hand? However, we open with a Fateful Adventure. Well, we activate Fateful Adventure, getting a Water Enchantress, and discarding a Dracoback. Activate Water Enchantress, get Rite of Cheer, activate Rite, and then get our Adventurer token. Adventurer token activates, and we equip Starlit and Wandering Griffin Rider as a Omni Negate. Pass the turn. We are going to negate that grass looks greener. And shuffle Griffin Rider back to deck. You now get a Griffin Rider again. Discard Witch of the Black Forest, activate Wandering Griffin Rider, and equip a Dunnel. This is the potency of the deck. You can constantly get a Wandering Griffin Rider every turn, as long as you're willing to discard one card. Now, admittedly, I luck out here and select the level 4, forcing them to mill their Luna. Sorry, mill their Fairy Tale Snow. They activate Snow, however, I have Called by the Grave, and that is game. Even if they had something to counter Called by the Grave, I had a Wandering Griffin Rider. And here we are in the third match. I'm not going to do much commentary. I'll just let this play out. And you now see the main weakness of this deck. If I cannot get an Adventurer token or a Rite of Aramashir in my hand, this deck is very much dead in the water. So, how do I feel about the first Lone deck for this festival? Well, it's hard to compare with the other Lone decks as I have not played with them yet. The ideas there, being able to constantly get a Wandering Griffin Rider so you have a guaranteed Omni Negate every turn is nice. Being able to OTK them, as you saw in the first replay, very nice. And in the third replay, you saw the main disadvantage of the deck, where if I cannot get a Rite of Aramashir, this deck does not play well. On an overall power scale compared to past Loner decks, however, I feel like this is a 2.5 or a 3 out of 5, as this is a lot better than some of the decks I've played in the older festivals. But I look forward to trying the other two Loner decks for this event. Right now, my overall impression of the X0, I actually like this event. Reason being, I don't need to step away from my computer when someone decides to combo off. Anyways, like if you like the video, subscribe if you so desire, and have a great rest of your day.